Welcome back to the lab. Today I cleaned the bench. See? Beautiful. Except for these things here. We want those things because of something else. The something else is I put the subframe back into the back of the car. What has that got to do with fittings? Absolutely nothing. I started removing stuff from my shelves over here, and I've now started putting other stuff back on the shelves to give me more room elsewhere. And I got to the point where I got to the oil catch can breather tank thing, that big beastie sitting right in the middle of your screen there. And of course that's not going to bolt up like it did before, because the harness box that's in the middle of your screen now is significantly higher than what it was before, so we can't just put a riv nut into the back of that and secure that tab that's hanging out in the breeze. So we can muck around and we can make that work somehow. Probably the easiest thing to do would just be cut that bracket off the tank and shift it up to where it would work and weld it back on, and that'd be good. It'd be functioning again. The only reason why that tank is shaped the way it is, and looking, if we look closely at it, it's looking quite secondhand, is in the original version of the car that I built, it was living here. And I did a bit of a high-speed reverse into a wall at, who knows how fast, very, very fast, 200 k's an hour or something like that. And managed to pretty much destroy the entire car except for a few pieces. And that somehow, living here, survived. I have no idea how that works. Pieces around it were, the strut tower and everything were just obliterated. That tank, a little bit of panel beating, and it was good to go. It survived. So it earned itself a stay. It earned itself another life, and it moved into this car. And it did go back there originally, and then the engine went from being east-west to, what do I call it, south-north, because it's backwards longitudinally. So now the tank's over there. I think it's about time that we move that one along. We can pillage a couple of little fittings off it that I don't have any new ones here today. We don't really need them. We can save them and transfer them across quite successfully. I'll show you how to do that. And I think we might do what we did on the front with a tank, a triangular tank that'll fit into this little recess here. We've got some 45-degree angles happening there, so we might have one of those on the top of the tank and put our filter, which you can't see, there it is on the end of my finger there, put that on the top of the 45-degree angle, and that'll look quite nice. I'm not going to drill holes in your roll cage to mount it, because you're not allowed to do that. We could weld some brackets onto the roll cage, except I've already painted it, so we can't do that. I'm not going to muck around and make clamps that go around the roll cage. That's getting too hard and difficult. What we're going to do is we're going to put some holes through the firewall. Shock horror! But then we'll fill them up with some screws to attach our new tank. Just there, we'll literally bolt the tank to the wall, to the firewall. It'll be awesome. Let's get started on that. That's the first time that thing's been on its feet properly in a little while. So that's a bit of a feat, I guess. So what do we got here? We got it's going to be too tight, isn't it? Don't do things one-handed. It makes life difficult for everybody. It makes it painful for you guys to watch. And it's going to crash down, is it? Oh, it didn't crash. See, I told you it was looking a bit rough. If we didn't get up close and personal to it, you don't see those things. I can't remember what was the deal here. We had something mounted on that, and that, of course, the thread isn't sealed, so it does leak a little bit. We'll save our filter off here, and we'll save our, it's just a bit beyond finger tie. Got it. We'll save that. Actually, we need a black one of those, not a blue one. That doesn't look very good at all being blue, does it? Do you reckon that fitting's something I made or something I bought and chopped up? I think it's something I bought and butchered to do what we needed it to do. Yeah, see, that's a barbed fitting that's then been shortened down, and then our fancy K&N filter, which is horrendously overpriced, fits on there. We should be able to save that. What you do is get yourself an appropriately sized hole saw that doesn't have lots of teeth missing, Glenn. Never mind. And you literally just put it around the outside of it and buzz it off. You're going to want to wrap some tape around here if you want to protect all that. Keep it nice and good. We don't need to save the AN6 fitting. We have one of those right there. We don't need to save the AN10. We have one of those. We don't have an 8 for the drain. So I will, same technique, different size hole saw, thread around here, etc. Tape rather. And we'll save that one and use it again. They're only like $5, but it's 3:30 in the afternoon. I want to do this today, and that's not going to happen otherwise. Hear all the comments about music, funky music. I can make funky music. I probably not going to though. That's not a good idea. Ta-da! Of course, you want to wear earmuffs when you do that, because I'm now quite deaf. What? Hot. Hot, hot. See, we didn't damage it. That's good. Now we damaged it. Should be able to get that one with a slightly smaller hole saw. In there somewhere. Then, because we're fussy, we'll put it in this magic machine using a nut or whatever to hold it on its threads so it's nice and true. Loud noises. Yeah, pretty close to being like I bought one. You thought I'd hit that, didn't you? Well, I thought I'd hit that. It's just oil coming out. We can give that a bit of a nudge with the parting off tool, and that'll take the top edge back and make it all look beautiful. I'm not going to do that one-handed. That's a bit scary. Too close to the chuck. E85 life. That's why you need a catch can. Yucky, yucky. Well, technically you need a catch can because this is an open system. It doesn't actually take any of the ventilation from the crankcase and put it back into the intake system and the engine, which actually would help with clearing condensation out of the catch can and out of the crankcase, but we don't want that sort of thing getting into our intake system and lowering the octane rating and causing all sorts of bad. Worked alright last time, it'll work this time. Okay, so I guess people are going to look at it through here, through the window, and you're going to see it from here. So trying to keep things looking aesthetically pleasing, I guess it would make sense to have the tank flush with here. We do have the 45 on the top of it, and the filter will come out of 45. If I make it the same as this, that happens to be 45mm as well, just to be confusing, we should be able to get the filter in the middle of that, and it won't touch up against the bottom side of here, if you understand what I'm talking about. So then if that's going to be our thickness, and we've got our dimensions here, just so happens this is about a 45-degree angle, so we can pretty much, sorry about the flickering from those LED lights, we can pretty much take this distance here times 10, which is actually the height, 100mm, right? We'll do it in centimeters because that gives us cc's, which is easier to convert to liters. So that times, cut that in half pretty much, right? So then this piece turns around, comes back that way, and that gives you the rough numbers. That gives us 3,645 cc's. The minimum we have to have is 2 litres. So we're heaps big enough, way heaps, many. So let's do it that size. It was meant to be, right? So I pick up our template, put it on our piece of aluminium, which I've already butchered and cut many things out of. Happens to be near enough the right width for there. So we've got to do our 45mm long piece, and then we've got to do what's left from that goes to the firewall, right? So we've got our, we can draw this on here. Will draw it so I don't have to do the trigonometry. We've got the front face, and we've got a 45 high, wide, whatever, at a 45-degree angle, and then we need to come back far enough here so that this distance here is 100mm. I'm looking through the camera and drawing, and it's a bit slower. And then we'll bang our filter there, like that, see? Like that. Stay there, damn you. Come over here to the magic pan brake. This is where you can get things horribly wrong, fold it in the wrong order, and it's all over. You've made life difficult for yourself. Not putting a radius on the bottom of this tank because it's already 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I want to get this done today for no other reason than putting a video up for you guys. See, now if I try and fold that right there, what happens? Crunch. Bad. So we come over here to this end here. No crunch anymore. Good, eh? Plenty of scratches on the, make sure you fold it the right piece too. Plenty of scratches on the front of it. We're not worried about that. There, put that there. Oh, I should set up a bit tight actually for that thickness material. Now I could have folded the whole side of that, if you know what I mean, the 100mm thick side. So the welds aren't going to be towards the front. Not going to be quite the right angle by the looks of that. That's slightly in the wrong spot. We'll see how that plays out. It may be alright. We can trim this edge here. If this angle is wrong, we'll trim that edge. Once we've done that, we can't do anything about this one. Let's test fit it before we do this one here. This fold. It is beautiful. You're just going to have to trust me. Now we want that 45 degrees. It's about there. You can put a indicator on here, you can measure it and all that sort of carry on. That's going to be fine. It's going to be close enough. I've folded enough bits and bobs over the years to get it about right. Now before I fold that one, I'm just going to check that that from there to there is 45, like I remembered it to be, just in case it's not. Pretty good, eh? That'll do. That'll probably fit. Something like that. It's very hard to do. Oh, I know what I should have done. It's going to look a little bit funny not being in sync with where that box is, and we can't actually make that happen. Or can we? Yeah, I could make it happen. I'd have to move the whole lot over that way and then go around the bar with the tank. We've got heaps of volume. Let me think. I got this far, nearly ready to start welding it up. But someone sped all the clocks up. It's going to be a bit tricky to finish this today. We'll see how we go. There's still a whole side to do under here. Mint, we're done. That's not going to leak. 5:30, time to knock off, isn't it? No. Keep going on this. I reckon we'll get there in the end. I've unfortunately made an error by the thickness of the material, 1.6 millimeters. I've made this exactly the same width as the blooming thing it's supposed to fit onto, so it'll be just a little bit of a tight fit, but that's fine. I can do that, and then I want to put that in there, test fit, and then just tweak this end here to fit exactly, because it's going to go in the car that way up. You'll see this, so it needs to be right. Needs to be good. Bit of a test fit before I weld the final bits and pieces up. It does fit, obviously. Not 100% square with our box that's above there. However, that has got some room to wriggle around and make that look right. And so does the tank, actually. We can sit it up there like that. So that's good. Let's weld it up. Oh, getting pretty late. I want a drink. Things I do for you guys. There we go. I hope that was the right thing to do. It's just about 7 o'clock. That will look pretty snazzy, I reckon. Now everyone's going to say you need something over on that side, but definitely not. That kind of tucks it away. That's far better than that big ugly box that was sitting over there, eh? And you'll all want to know what it weighs compared to the original one, and I can't tell you. I'm going to weigh it later on after dinner. After the little one's gone to bed, we'll put it on scales and we'll have a look and see. Speaking of look and see, how's it look through the... Not bad. It's a little bit high of where it should be, but it's not actually screwed to the wall just yet. That is literally just sitting there through its own grip on the roll cage. Cool, so there's, where this red tapers, there's a hose. I'll do a 90-degree. Come up. Probably put a 90-degree on there as well, and have the hose bent like that. That'll look great. That'll have a 90. That runs off, and there's a fitting on the front of this rocker cover, which we might do something with. At the moment, it's just a rude as bit of silicon 90-degree elbow, and then an adapter to go to push lock hose in behind here somewhere, and then it comes out. But we should actually be, the hoses will be a little bit shorter, so we'll lose a little bit of weight there. I strongly suspect this is heavier. We will see. Thanks for watching. Cheers, bye-bye. It's looking good, eh? Looking better. It actually looked really good from underneath without the diffuser. Okay, see you.